Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pre-match for Everton versus Forest. 3 o'clock kickoff. The Blues, 4 games without defeat. A win against Wolves and 3 draws against 3 very good opposition. Going up against Forest, who are even better informed than ourselves. I'm going to react to the lineups over the next 14 minutes before the match starts, so everyone then can get to watching it. No major changes to the side. Jordan Pickford's in goal. Ashley Young comes back in for Seamus Coleman after serving a suspension. Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Michalenko make up the back four. The midfield three is unchanged with Mangala, Gay and Abdoulaye Doucouré as well in that midfield role. And up front, the only major change is Armando Broja coming in directly to replace Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Njai and Harrison in both sides of him. In terms of Forest's team as well, they've got a back three, as they do typically. Morato, Murillo, Milenkovic. Anderson, Dominguez are the two central midfielders. Nico Williams and Aina are the wing-backs. And then up front, you've got Morgan Gibbs-White and Alanga behind Chris Wood, who is in decent form as well this season. In terms of the Everton bench, no major changes there. João Virginia, Patterson, Keane, O'Brien. There is no Coleman. No McNeil as well. Lindstrom and Harrison Armstrong are the two midfielders on our bench. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Beto and Yusuf Shimiti in the attacking options. So everyone in the comments, hope you've all had a lovely Christmas. If anyone's got any opinions or any reaction to that start 11, please feel free. Drop us a comment, let us know. For me personally, I'm not too surprised to see Ashley Young back in. He's had a good season so far. Maybe a lot of football to play for Coleman in such a short amount of time, his age, and he put a good shift in as well against City on Boxing Day. So I'm not too surprised to see him in, although maybe some of us would have liked to see Nathan Patterson maybe be a little bit more offensive, a bit more attacking, especially after we've put in 3 solid defensive displays. There's a lot of people who've said put Ashley Young at left back and then have Patterson or someone on the right. But I personally think keep the balance, your left back at left. Midfield, again, no surprise to see that unchanged. I'm very happy to see that. I think we've been very, very solid. It's been a very, very good midfield three as well. Where I am disappointed is Harrison back in. Now, I understand that Sean Dyche is defensive. He's very much defence first, and Harrison does do a job. You can see from his positioning on his heat maps that he defends a lot more than he attacks. Most of his game is played in the right back position more than anything. However, he's been poor going forward, and he's missed 3, 4, maybe even 5 sitters over the past couple of weeks throughout December. He's had a really poor December going forward. And I think something like that, you just need to take him out, take the heat off him. Even if for him more than the team. I think Sean Dyche is kind of hanging him out to dry by doing that. I think Lindstrom could have played on that right midfield spot, or Njai and Lindstrom on the other side. The other option that we could have had is buzzing that Broja's back in, or Broja's in, starting for the first time. But he can play out wide. Doesn't necessarily mean we're playing 4-4-2. He can play that kind of false out wide striker kind of role, which he's done at Southampton's, where he done very, very well. And I think what Charlton used to do for us, yes, he played out wide on the left, but he'd very often make his way into the box. And a lot of the time, your fullbacks, especially when you've got 3 as well, 3 at the back, centre-backs and wing-backs instead, they don't pick up the man that drifts in from that position, especially if he's not one to take the ball out wide and run in. He wants to drift in. Often they're the kind of players you see getting goals at the back post because they kind of escape the attentions of the defenders. So I would have liked to see Broja maybe play out wide, Dom or Beto or someone play up front as well, go a little bit more attacking. I understand the Forest team in very, very good form at the moment, but it's still a team that we should be maybe doing a little bit more against. Yeah, Emma, I agree. Like I just mentioned there, we're happy to see Broja, and I think a lot of us are. Hola, Cesar. Talking to us from Mexico. Nice to see you joining us for this one. I'm assuming it's a bit of an early morning game for yourself. Hi, Peter. I know what you mean. I think Nico Williams is starting on that left-hand side, hasn't he? But again, I don't know if it's going to be them two doubling up on him, because that's why Harrison's in. He'll probably be defending a lot more. And I think with the likes of Mangala and Idrissa Gana Gueye as well in midfield, they'll probably be able to shore things up, especially where them two forward players in Alanga and Gibbs-White like to kind of double up and flood um, the between the midfield and the defence. So they will hopefully take care of that, and that's probably what Dyche has gone for. What I would say as well, guys, Forest have done really, really well in most of their games where they've overperformed has come from them defending. They like us. They give up a lot of the possession on the ball. Nuno Espirito Santo is a pragmatic manager. So hopefully, might just be me grasping at straws here. But maybe the fact that they're used to hitting teams on the counter attack, defending like we do, yet they've got more pace, which is probably where they've had a bit more success, and the attack with a bit more impetus and a bit more style compared to what Dyche does. But because they're so used to going against attacking teams and countering them, maybe us not being as offensively minded might play into our hands. Maybe we're going to out Forest today. Something potentially for us to think about. You can see it being a very boring game because neither side will want possession of the ball. And we'll probably have more than we typically do. But if we still have less than half the possession, or maybe get like 40%, 45%, a little bit more than our usual sweet spot, that may make Forest uncomfortable, and that may make us have a bit more space on the counter-attack to attack them. And again, teams that are used to counter-attacking, when they get counter-attacked themselves, if they've got more possession, they don't know how to deal with it as well as, obviously, the likes of your Chelseas, your Arsenals and your Cities, who have a lot of the ball, and they're somewhat used to having to deal with that counter-attack and counter-pressing. So hopefully, again, could be grasping the straws, but hopefully it's something that we can look at with a little bit of hope today. If any Blues want to give me their score predictions, especially considering the team news that's been released, please again feel free to let me know. I myself feel it's going to be a very, very a dull game. Would not be surprised if we have yet another 0-0. I do actually believe there'll be goals today, though. I don't see anything mega, but I can see it being 1-1. I can also see it being a 1-0 Everton win. I don't typically like the New Year games. The atmosphere is absolutely terrible. We never have a good show of things. But this one's before New Year, so hopefully the home fans aren't too hungover. Boxing Day was a couple of days ago, so I think everyone's had a chance to get all the air out their system now. So hopefully the Goodison Park, hopefully the stadium's absolutely rocking. Hopefully there's a good atmosphere. We've still got all that good news without the hangover of the Christmas period and things like that. So again, hopefully there's a good bit of impetus. Even if we're still defending, hopefully there's just some positivity from the fans again. That we're happy to support the team. We support the team in their pressing. We know they're not probably going to be doing too much attacking, but if we can really support the team and get behind them when they're doing solid defensive work, and then kind of give them that oomph to start counter-attacks and push them up the field, hopefully we can do that, because Everton can drag the ball forward. The fans can do that. We're really, really good fans on our day. And again, hopefully we take the good spirits that we've been in so far, and we can build on this. 3 draws against 3 decent teams, and hopefully we can go for it. I agree, Danny. I do think we need to be going for the win. 3 draws, we don't want other teams to be catching us up, so we need to at least go for the win. But a draw, especially a 1-0 draw, we've managed to get a goal. We've not conceded too many goals. Is at least a decent result, and still a bit of positivity we can keep going forward with. But at some point we need to turn draws into wins. And Kevin, like your positivity, I agree. It's certainly a possibility that we could sneak a win. So I'm loving your positivity. If anyone's got any idea who they believe the goal scorer will be again, please feel free to let me know. Do we think we're going to have a first start and first goal for Armando Broja today? Agree with you, Pete. Look, they do try and make light of it while they were talking about that during the City game, but it is ridiculous. Not just from the media as well, but it seeps into all the other fans. I understand the Reds. A lot of the Reds absolutely hate him for the Van Dijk situation. I actually probably know more Reds who appreciate Pickford as a player, maybe hate him as a person, especially with the Van Dijk situation. But even the Reds in the City, they appreciate Pickford a lot more than other fans from elsewhere. And I think it is purely just, I wouldn't say part-time fans, but fans who get all their opinion from watching Match of the Day and things like that. And calling him erratic. He's got a bit of madness in him. But so did all the best goalkeepers back in the day. And the mistakes that he makes, calling him jumpy. We've seen Martinez, who has been arguably the best goalkeeper in the world, in world football, understandably with what he's won and what he did in the World Cup. He's made mistakes. He's probably made more mistakes than Pickford this season or the past 2 seasons. Alisson makes numerous mistakes this season. Ederson makes mistakes all the time. So there's players in the Premier League who are making a lot of mistakes. Pickford makes probably as many mistakes as other goalkeepers do. No way in hell does he make way more mistakes than anyone else. He makes round about the same amount, and yet the points that he's won Everton, he's got more clean sheets than everyone else. And it's not just because we play boring defensive football. There's times where he has dragged us out the mire. He saved 2 penalties this season. The only player to save multiple penalties in the Premier League. He's won us probably more points than most players, strikers have, if you know what I mean. Salah has 1 point. He scored a lot of goals for Liverpool, and he's probably won points single-handedly. But I wouldn't surprise me if Pickford saved us more points than he did because of his big moments and the saves that he makes. The 1-on-1 against Chelsea when he saved the point-blank shot from Jackson, he's done better. But Pickford was brilliant. Gets himself into the right position. His positioning is always fantastic. Especially on 1-on-1s, he is a proper shot stopper. He gets in the way. His antics are probably part of what helps him. It riles strikers up. It riles the crowd up. He used to rile himself up and he used to make mistakes from that, but he's learned from that. I understand and I feel it myself that sometimes he has moments where you think, oh no, is that going to fall off? But typically, even though you think he's getting to that point, he never actually crosses that line to actually losing his head. He always seems to play on the line, and I've heard people say that as a defender you don't want to have that kind of keeper. But I think a lot of the centre backs, especially at elite levels, and ones like who are hard hitting like our centre backs are, I think they appreciate that because it is going to get riled up and it's going to get everyone going. And sometimes you just need that kick in the backside. Neville Southall would have give more abuse than what Pickford gives his centre backs if they ever made the mistakes that he did, or the mistakes that the defence made that they do. So I think they're being completely. It's purely just easy to say he's an easy target from what's happened in the past and the fact he's quite eccentric. He does bring it on himself in terms of hate, but in terms of actually underrating him, and you can hate him as a person. Look, that doesn't bother me because you don't like people if you don't like people, especially when you see him on TV and he is a bit of a mad head, isn't he? But he's a fantastic goalkeeper, and you've got to take that separately to what you think of him as a person. And Jordan Pickford is a fantastic goalkeeper, possibly the best in the Premier League on form at the moment. Certainly one of the top goalkeepers in the Premier League in general. I just don't think he gets the kudos he deserves from the media. And one last thing before we go, I'll reply to this one for you. So yeah, Souness calling him a bomb scare while stating Bruce Grobbelaar wasn't that erratic. Grobbelaar was mental. We've seen that. Grobbelaar was always the kind of keeper that always come out, get himself caught in no man's land. A lot of goalkeepers do it. It happens. Grobbelaar was quite erratic. Howard, you'd probably consider, was a little bit calmer than Pickford, but he'd still get caught in no man's land, because no matter how erratic you are or how mental you are as a goalkeeper, it's when you're dealing on the one-on-ones and trying to stop the ball. That's what matters. You can psych players out, and keepers are fantastic at doing that, especially when, like Pickford, they're pulling faces, they're doing all sorts, they're winding the crowd up, they're winding the players up, and you've got to, sometimes you need that little bit of edge. It's marginal gains that we always talk about, and we need that nastiness. And I think we can all appreciate what Pickford's done for us. Not just that, but his goalkeeping ability in general. Right, with it being 3 o'clock, I'm going to go. Hope you all enjoy the match. Ourselves will follow Everton. We'll be here for you when the game finishes or not long after to talk about the game. Let's go. Up the toffees. Let's get a win. Thank you.